Didn't you read the fine print? The rules changed somewhere along the way. When we were kids, we got punished for lying. Now, lying's still wrong, unless it protects a story someone powerful wants us to keep. That's when you start to realise adulthood has its own hidden terms. Nobody says them out loud. You just figure them out as you go. Now, it's more like, tell the truth, unless it pisses people off. Be honest, but not if it makes things awkward. Speak your mind, as long as it sounds like everyone else's. And we don't question it. We just click accept. Because that's what everyone does. Belonging feels safer than honesty. It's not even a conscious decision. It's habit. We've been trained to keep the peace, even when it costs us a piece of ourselves. To be agreeable instead of real. To make sure the room stays comfortable, even if we don't. Maybe that's what adulthood really is. Learning which truths to hide and calling it maturity. But the real question now isn't can you tell the truth, it's can you afford to? Once you notice the fine print, you start seeing it everywhere. At work, it's the person who finally says what everyone's been thinking. Suddenly, they're not a good culture fit. In families, it's the one who calls out years of quiet abuse. And everyone decides they're too dramatic. Online, it's the person who asks the wrong question. And the comments turn into a firing squad. That's the fine print at work. It doesn't ban honesty. It just makes sure you regret it. And peace, that usually just means don't make the system look bad. We like to think we value honesty, but the truth is our brains don't. To your nervous system, honesty feels risky. If being real threatens your job, your reputation, or your sense of belonging, your body marks it as danger. So you adapt. You tell half-truths. You water things down. You keep quiet. Not because you're dishonest, but because you've been conditioned to survive. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance. That mental tension when reality doesn't match the story we've built. Most people don't rewrite the story. They just reject the person who points it out. It's easier to protect the illusion than face the break. Then there's groupthink. That quiet agreement that keeping harmony matters more than being right. No one wants to be the one who ruins the vibe. And the spiral of silence. The more people stay quiet, the more it looks like everyone agrees, and the harder it becomes to say anything different. Silence spreads like secondhand smoke. It's not malice, it's self-protection. That's the fine print's real trick. It sells fear as stability. You get safety as long as you don't touch the truth too hard. Every now and then, someone breaks the unspoken contract. They stop nodding. They say the thing everyone's been avoiding. You can feel the shift. The air goes cold. People look away, change the subject, start talking quieter. Suddenly, that person's negative, difficult, not a team player. The labels come fast because they help everyone else feel okay about looking away. Psychologist Jennifer Freud calls this reaction DAVO, deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. It's how institutions and people protect themselves. They deny what's happened, attack the person who spoke up, then flip the story, so they're the ones being wronged. It's not always calculated. It's instinct dressed up as virtue. That's how families, workplaces, and governments keep their self-image intact. They protect the illusion of decency, and anyone who threatens that illusion becomes the threat. Whistleblower researchers Marcelli and Neer found the same thing decades ago. People who tell the truth often end up with moral injury. That slow internal collapse that happens when doing the right thing still ruins you. They lose belonging first, then career, then parts of themselves. It's isolation, burnout, and existential exhaustion rolled into one. Betrayal trauma theory explains why bystanders freeze. When a system we rely on betrays us, a boss, a church, a government, our minds protect us by denying it. We minimize the betrayal to keep our world intact. It feels safer to lose one person than question everything. And history keeps replaying the same scene with new tech. Galileo's telescope, Snowden's hard drive, Horgan's Facebook files. Different centuries, same ending. Tell the truth, lose your place. Most people watch that and think, yeah, I'm not paying that price. And honestly, who can blame them? There's rent, kids, reputations. And telling the truth doesn't pay any of those. So we call silence professionalism. We call avoidance respect. But underneath, it's fear. Socially approved and neatly packaged. So yeah, the fine print is real. It's not poetic. It's policy, culture, psychology, all of it. You see it in every place that calls itself a family. Workplaces, communities, even actual families. All whispering the same subtext. Keep the peace, don't make it awkward, protect the illusion. Social psychologists call it moral disengagement, the way we rewrite our actions to stay comfortable. We say things like, it's not my place, or it's not that bad, because that's easier than sitting with the guilt of doing nothing. But silence has a shelf life. Research on avoidance coping shows that suppressing emotion or truth can calm you short term and rot you long term. That's why people end up resentful, restless, unable to sleep, haunted by that quiet feeling that something inside's gone missing. You might still fit in with everyone else, but you stop fitting inside yourself. Brené Brown calls it the erosion of integrity, that slow leak between who you are and who you pretend to be. It's not explosive, just steady, like a light that gets dimmer without you noticing. So maybe the goal isn't to burn the whole contract. Maybe it's just to read it before you sign, to know what you're agreeing to every time you bite your tongue. Truth has a price, sure, but pretending not to see it, that's like paying rent on your own numbness. You don't notice the charge, but it keeps withdrawing from who you are. And once you've read the fine print, you can't unsee it. Seeing doesn't make life easier. It just makes it clearer. And clarity isn't comfort, it's choice. So the next time someone says, just keep the peace, ask yourself, at what cost? Because peace built on silence isn't peace. It's compliance wearing good manners. And eventually, it always comes due.